This is Suburban Prepper. Good morning. Advanced prepping skills. What are your advanced prepping skills? Basically, what are you so much of an expert at that when shit hit the fan, people would go to you and say, hey, fella, can you help with this or help with that? I would say I'm medical. I mean, real medical. That's what I would say. My advanced prepping skill is. Alternatively, security operations and management protocols. Those would be some of my expertises. Expertises that I'm not include electrical and plumbing and HVAC repair. Definitely not an expert with that kind of stuff. What about you? What expert? What subject matter expert are you at? Either your hobby or job over a life? Well, because I was a medic in the Army since I was 18. Okay. Look at this. And the cars are speeding away again. Wow. So yeah, medical's my expertise. When shit hits the fan, it's not going to all be about treating shock and everything. It's going to be the basics too. Some of that basic stuff can get pretty severe. And no amount of storing fish antibiotics can treat everything. I have to stay off a lot of the Facebook groups because just some of the stuff people say uh, scares me. I joined a group a couple months ago. It was like 400 people. Went up to, I guess she's got a couple thousand now, 8,000. I mean, real good job of getting her group up. But there's a fella in there that sells medications. I don't know how he does it. Well, I sort of do. But the misadvice that this fella gives, and I just couldn't partake in that. And I left a comment once. I mean, anything more than that should be a compensated opinion. So better off that I leave than I did. Morning. So I went to bed last night 10:30. Woke up at 3, and here I am. Time is 7:26. This is Suburban Prepper, and I'm going to be late to work today. So what's your expertise? What would you say people would go to you for what? Do you have something that people would go to for you if shit hit the fan? Or is your profession one that, your hobbies one that wouldn't really be a benefit when shit hits the fan? Have you thought about that? I mean, excuse me, just a hard reality. Sometimes we got to look at ourselves. Just because you're a prepper, okay, that's you prepared for yourself and your family. But what skill can you barter? Do you have a skill set? That could be by being bilingual. If you're in a area that's got many different cultures, you could be a good gardener. You could know how to prepare food. You might have the greatest organizational skills. That means something, having good organizational skills, how to read people. Or spent, you had tactical knowledge that really isn't in a TM somewhere. You can't really translate it. It's knowledge that's acquired through. That's all I can say. It's not something that you can pick up out of a book and become an expert suddenly. So my latest video that I just released this morning, talking about hypovolemic shock. I'm going back to bringing it up a notch. We talked about IFAKs, first aid kits. We talked about how to use a chest seal properly, how to insert a nasopharyngeal airway. So now I'm taking it up a notch, and how to manage it and what the signs and symptoms are. This video I just released. Symptoms of shock. Recognize them. Controversial ways to, that's almost controversial. One that I didn't mention was drilling a hole in a bone and administering fluid that way for shock. Intraosseous. Of course, there's oral hydration therapy or oral rehydration therapy for shock if someone can tolerate it. There's intravenous, putting an IV in the vein, putting a needle in the vein with a catheter, and administering saline or normal saline to treat shock. And then there's positional, going into the shock treatment position that you can use to treat shock. And somewhat controversial is the enema. You give someone a water enema, saline enema to rehydrate. Water gets absorbed in the large intestine anyway. Isotonic solution absorb best. In other words, you don't want it just pure water. You want a little bit of electrolytes. I go over oral electrolyte therapy in detail in my video. And it's not just about Gatorade, it's salt and sugar. Real important to know about that. So, advanced prepping. There's a lot to it. Also, been working on my storefront, my Amazon storefront, Suburban Prepper, Amazon storefront this weekend. Adding some items to the storefront that I think are important to prepping. I added a couple different categories. My newest category that I added, if you hadn't guessed, was medical bags. I decided to add that category, medical bags, to my prepping storefront, because I get these questions all the time about, all this gear that you mentioned for an individual first aid kit, where can I store it? Or someone has an individual first aid kit that's big, that's not going to fit what I recommend. So I mean, some things you can figure out on your own, or just go to my website on my Amazon storefront. It's not a website for me. I am happy to say, wow, for subscribers, it's a slow day. Other advanced prepping skills, having the ability to harness electricity, have a solar system, solar panels, and know how to use them. That's pretty advanced. Plumbing, definitely advanced prepping skills. Okay. If you know how to makeshift a toilet or a place to take a shower or store water or heat water, I'd say that's pretty important for prepping. Now, my prepping genre, suburban prepping. We're not quite in the city. We're not quite in the country. We're in the middle. Of course, I live in a suburb. But we make do with what we have. Right? Of course, still my goal as a suburban prepper to have a bug out location in a rural area and to build up that bug out location. Hopefully, as my channel takes off more, I'll be able to. So here's the deal. Here's what I want to do. I want to get famous enough on my YouTube here that I'll have enough to buy some land and make videos off my land. Well, how far away would it be? I don't know. It's going to have to be out of this county that I live in. This county's a high tax county. How many acres would I like? It's a good question. It's just so they say that an acre is 3/4 of a football field. If you look at a football field, it's 75 yards. Basically, a football field is 100 yards. Okay, so they say that an acre of land is basically 75 yards from of a football field. So I would like to have 10 or 20 acres. And I'd like to have them that wide. A nice long strip of land. And so I can make a shooting range. I could do whatever I want, build up some stuff, have a forest area for timber and hunting. But till I get to that point, I'm not at that point. One must dream in order to. It's good to have a dream, but you got to work hard for it. Nothing's going to happen if you just think about it and do nothing about it. So yeah, I woke up at 3 this morning and I'm feeling it now. Lately, I haven't been sleeping much. I don't know why. I'm not taking any. I wake up and I feel rejuvenated. I start the day. I had to have 2 cups of coffee this morning. I never have 2 cups. I don't even like coffee. My favorite drink now is water. Ever since I went into heart failure about 2 years ago, God, it's been 2 years. September 18th, 2023. I quit drinking soda completely. Can't stand the taste of it. Well, it's no good for you. It's got all that acid, all the artificial coloring, even diet. I've had a Diet Coke before since, and it tastes like a chemical. Oh yeah, that's true. I do have on my Amazon storefront a list of chemicals that are beneficial for preppers, and I'm going to work on the description on all of them as I go along. I'm building it up slowly. Why I think it's important to have these chemicals. How do these people just don't look? I don't understand that one. I'll just let that one go. So yeah, the reason why I say a CB radio to create a mutual assistance group is because the length, the perimeter, how do I say it? The diameter of a CB radio should be just as far out as you want your people in your prepper group to be. So if shit hit the fan, you could come together at a central location. If you have things with ham radios, one, you have to have that license to operate, and I don't have one yet. But two, the distance. There's no sense in belonging to a mutual assistance group, prepping group, if you live 100 miles away and shit hits the fan and you don't even have the ability to get to your mutual assistance group. Having said that, you could have mutual assistance group, and if shit hit the fan, everybody would co-locate to the bug out location. But that would be something that would be pre-planned. No, I don't watch. Yeah, I know they came out with a prepping movie this summer, and last year they made the Civil War movie. I didn't watch either one of them. I don't want it to give me any bad ideas, and two, I just don't really care. It's Hollywood's depiction, not my interpretation. No, I don't think they'll make a movie. Hi. I didn't even say hi back. Yeah. Well, I was on a prepping blog once. I don't post there anymore because they got pissed off because I make YouTube videos. And then I want to feature my stuff on their channel. Because I don't know who was running the channel. I didn't really care. But the way I saw it, they should have been honored that I was there. But their moderators were quite rude. So no, I don't post onto that prepping blog anymore because I'm not going to name the blog. It's not. I don't want to do that kind of stuff because it's not significant. Well, because I have a lot of. Let's be honest. I have a lot of knowledge and expertise that makes me an expert in a lot of different things. What I'm not an expert in, I'm not. Oh, okay. Let me look at some other questions. Yeah, I think it's if you have DVDs, it's good to have a DVD player for shit hitting the fan as a backup if the internet's down and you can't download anything. Yeah, of course it is. Back in the old days, we had VHS tapes. Bus really did a quick 45-degree turn. Almost fell on its side. Yeah, gotta go to work today. Well, I mean, I have to go to work. I have to make a living. But it would be great if I could say, "Hey guys, I'm done. Thank you. Have a nice day." But I'd still want to work somewhere to keep practice think I'm behind a Tesla. No, I know I'm behind a Tesla. Never really looked at these. It doesn't have a battery operated truck. I really don't know how it performs. But it's very futuristic looking. I think it'd be a little out of my price range though. I think that Trump and Elon had to have that falling out for the sake of Elon. I think it was planned personally because that way it was a good disassociation. I think they both faked that. Well, because Elon's got stock to think about, and there's some half the country. Let's face it, half the country likes Trump. More than half the country likes Trump. I'll just say that, and less than half the country doesn't like Trump. But everybody needs to buy cars, and a lot of the natural part, a lot of the people that buy Teslas, a lot of them don't like Trump. Some do. It all depends on your perspective. So I get what they did. Man's got to make a living still. He got people underneath and working, and he's running basically the civilian version of NASA. What is NASA putting in space right now? Nothing. They're not putting anything in space. But they have a. What's the point of having NASA if you're thrown in space? Aiming the lasers towards the planet, aim them away from the planet. That would be beyond NASA, though. Once we, yeah, I'm not an expert in NASA. No, I don't think. No, well, first, I'm not a flat earther, so, and NASA wasn't around back in the 30s. Okay, so who was guarding the edge of the planet back then? That's why I just. And if the Earth was flat, think about how the gravity well would be. We'd all be sucked into the middle of the planet, or the plane, I guess you could say. That's how gravity would work. Versus having a round planet or roundish planet, the gravity keeps us on the ground. Down. Gravity everywhere on the planet keeps us down. So I don't do the flat earth bullshit. I don't know, there could be a middle earth. I'm not there's a lot of weirder things on this planet. Well, I think everything in science fiction is rooted in fact. It's just a lot of fiction to it. I don't know if they're going to ever do that. I don't understand the computing technology for teleporting somebody. Basically, you're executing someone. That's what I think on Star Trek. They have this teleportation technology. You're taking away molecule. You're stripping someone of their molecules, converting it to energy, and then you're reassembling the molecules. Each cell gets reassembled. So basically, the person is basically killed, and they're brought back to life. So every time someone teleports, they're a new person. Why? Because I think those cells would, since they're newly developed, I don't know how you could. I don't understand how you could really teleport somebody. Yeah, teleporting information is one thing. we got a long way to go before we do tech like that. Well, who knows? Exponentially, who knows? I mean, they can teleport a bit of information, and that's about it. But isn't all thought information? That's so theoretical that I'm just not an expert enough to have a intellectual conversation about it. So no, it's not about prepping. Let's look here. Okay. Why don't I advocate for gas generators and wind? Well, if shit hit the fan, and and I guess the fan, you rely on the wind every day to blow. Even here in the Northwest Indiana, where we get a lot of wind, it doesn't blow every day. How are you going to generate? Yeah, the sun's out every day, but clouds block some of the rays. And what if you're out of? What if there's nowhere to get more gas? I mean, there's got to be a resupply issue. So no, I don't. I don't have generators on my storefront. Gas generators. Yeah, I would like it if someone could build a generator that uses solar, has a battery backup storage, and uses fuel for generation. Sort of like how a hybrid car would work. But I don't see it. No, I don't think it'll happen eventually. I don't know if there's one out there. Does anybody know? Can you buy a solar generator system with a fuel that you can add fuel to it, or biofuel, and it would generate energy from that, or process logs and make energy from that? I guess from the heat, and the heat, everything basically you boil water and it turns a turbine. That's how you would generate the electricity. But when you store it in a battery, that stores. No, I've never built my own solar panels. I'm afraid I'd electrocute it. Oh man, a lot of people out today. Yeah, I did a video series this weekend. Well, I did it over the past couple of weeks about AR-15s, and YouTube decided not to monetize two of my videos, and one they let go. I don't understand why. Basically, they're all over the same subject. So I'm gonna have to. I have to check in on that. Okay, I'm gonna pull over here for a second. Well, the tire's fine. There we go. We're back. Everything's fine. I don't know what that guy's looking for. I don't know that that's. Oh, it's a bus station. So, Yesterday was Labor Day. Today's the day after Labor Day. It's a short work week. Basically, I'm going to be slammed with patients. It's almost like they just love to add patients to the schedule. No, I don't understand it. So let's just let it go. Yeah. Oh, well, sometimes when you got to go, you got to go. Can't help it. I'm not. There's a place I bypass. Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to cut this one off. Suburban Prepper.